I just want to kick things off today by saying that the conflict in Israel and Palestine has been all over the news. And it's one of those things that you can't help but actually be feel personally connected to as a Muslim. I am, of course, very invested in what happens in the Islamic world. And this is not a small, trivial thing that's happening in the Islamic world right now. Um, the tragic videos that have been coming out have been absolutely heartbreaking. I've seen some horrible, tragic things that just you don't even want to talk about. As a father, you see some of these videos about these dads carrying their, dead daughters and dead babies in, it's just absolutely atrocious what's going on out there. No civilian deaths are ever acceptable. No deaths at all. It really should be acceptable. But it's sad that sometimes that conflicts happen in these Middle Eastern countries, and a lot of times you can just sit there and watch in horror as what's unfolding. What is really upsetting though is when you understand the history behind the whole fiasco. This whole thing that's going on. Ultimately, the land of Palestine was given to the Israelis by American Britain around the Second World War. And it was a land that wasn't theirs to give. And it was under false pretenses that these Zionist Jews went into these lands and tried to, over time, over the last 50 years, occupy the land in its entirety. If you see charts of Muslim population over the state of now Israel, slowly, you can see how Israelis just took over, and there's like, something like 2.5 million of them across the whole of Israel, and you've got like tiny little sections of the Gaza and the West Bank on the other side, and they're supposed to have like, something like 1.5 million, Palestinians in the tiny little area where it's just so disproportionate in terms of the land that the Jewish Zionists now occupy and the tiny, tiny little bits of land that they left for the Palestinian Muslims. And it is nothing but pure racism. Um, I don't know of any other place in the world that tells you that you can't live with us in this land because of your faith. You're a Muslim, so you can't live with us here. Are you crazy? What is this? This is 2023, yeah? We're accepting people who don't even identify as a gender, and we're supposed to be okay with all of that. And you're telling us that we have to now accept that level of racism, when in fact you are the people who were guests coming into this nation in the first place. It makes you cringe, and it turns my stomach when I hear about injustices like this. And all of this, if you look into the background of it, the Jewish Zionists believe that this land was promised to them by God, okay? And whoever happens to live there now can just go, or be gotten rid of. And the arrogance of these people just blows your mind. Those poor Palestinian people have suffered so much, and now there's a attack by Hamas, and this attack is like, wow, what one hell of an attack. How have you seen how small Gaza is compared to the rest of? So Hamas lives in Gaza, right? And you can't survey this little tiny bit of land, and you didn't know that there was 800 Hamas. I don't know how many coming down on parachutes. I'm surprised a flight was able to take off from this little tiny patch of Gaza where 1.5 million Palestinians live, and no one noticed a flight leaving. Israel has this iron dome, right? So I'm not sure if anyone of you have seen the video. Just check them out. It's pretty cool. Whenever a rocket comes out of Palestine, the iron dome intercedes it and it just blows up in air. It's pretty cool technology. So these are the rockets that they're flying. They're just getting zapped. It's just like, a video game for them. But when you look at Israel's military, it's on another level. It's like, when you have a 11 kill death streak, yeah, on Call of Duty, and you've killed so many people, and suddenly you get all these perks, and then you get the freaking, the chopper gunner or you get the AC-13 or whatever you used to call AC-130, where you could see a black and white screen with crosshairs, right? This is the Israeli military, right? And they just pressing a button, and the whole land is just obliterated underneath. And you think to yourself, wow, compare that to the rockets that were being intercepted in the sky, and compare that to what you just did. It's inhumane, guys. It is inhumane what's going on there. And the Americans and the British government are totally okay with this. Not only okay with this, there are reports coming out that they're investing in stocks in military organizations and organizations that have supply arms. It's just mind blowing when you look at what's going on and follow the money and who profits from all of this conflict. It's just so sad. And a lot of these people, the problem is that they only live in this world, right? So they're only for this world. They don't care about who dies, who doesn't die. They don't really believe in God or any kind of morality like that. But that's not true for the rest of us. We believe in God. We believe that we're going to face him one day, and we're going to have to answer for our actions. And God will ask all of us what we did when we were watching this atrocities happen in this area. We were watching, and God had given us means, and we did nothing. So it doesn't really matter whether you are a ruler of an Islamic state, or if you are just a guy with a camera in his bedroom. you know it doesn't matter who you are. You need to speak up and do something, because you'll be accountable on the day of judgment if you don't. So any rulers or any heads of state happening to see this, what are you going to say to God when you see him and he asks you what you did with all the power and the wealth that he gave you when you were watching your Muslim brothers and sisters perish and die? What did you do? You better have an answer for him.